All right, welcome to another hangout and the last hangout.
The last hangout?
It's the final curtain, our swan song, the Adidas saying of love noodleness.
Okay,
That's
well
probably
explain to the listeners what it is.
I like to leave them guessing.
Right.
They're like, oh no more hangout.
Right.
No, I'm just...
Tune in next week to find out why. Bye!
We are taking next week off. We're taking a hiatus and we're going to come back. We got a new show. We have not determined its exact title, but it'll be the Hangout Merging 2.0.
2.0. Everything always goes to 2.0.
Right,
we always speak
right.
in software titles.
Thank you, you little HTML code, you.
See?
Yes.
What he said.
I'm going to pull out my widget and smack you with it.
Okay. So, what is the new show going to be about? When's it going to be? Tell us.
Oh my God, I love having a fan. You're on the wrong side of the table. But, security! We're going to be bringing in guests. We're going to be talking. You know all about this. They're all in on this. God, she's good, right?
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Anyway, potentially lined up as our first guest will be BJ Futrell. He was elected to town council here in Murfreesboro, and like to see what he says. And folks, you don't have to be from our little corner of the world. Everyone's got small town near them. The small town America's got town councils.
That's right.
Yes.
Or city councils if you're uppity.
Yeah, I'm so uppity. No, it's not town, it's city.
Or if you are really back in sticks, you have the town commission.
Tone. I love it.
Tone.
The tone.
The town commission.
The town commission.
And then we are going to be having regular segments. We got bartender Dale will be doing a mixed drink and sharing the recipe with you. We have Prepper Mike will be doing a small prepper segment.
Yes.
We're not talking about Armageddon Doomsday, but just how to survive in the event of water shortage, food shortage.
How to survive in today's climate.
How
Exactly.
to keep from going into crisis mode when crisis comes your way.
Exactly.
Wow, nicely spoken.
Thank you. I didn't even write that down.
That's okay.
Yes, write that down.
You can replay it and make notes.
Good.
And then we're going to have Tam Sonnenberg, which you guys that have been with us for a while.
Tam's Guns and Ammo.
He was, me, Tony, and Tam were the Triple Threat gun show for about 2 years?
For a while there.
For a while there, and the climate and the social unrest kind of made us take a break and step back, and we're coming out with something different. But anyway, so we got guests. He's going to be doing gun safety, teach about guns, a little handgun. Something everybody needs to know, whether you have a handgun in your purse or you're an avid shooter.
Right. It won't be as hard to figure out as Rubik's Cube, but it will be just as fun.
Were you ever
I'm
able...
popping them out tonight,
And
man.
Rubik's Cube came out in the 70s.
It did. It's on the list.
Oh, we forgot to tell you, it's a 70s
the
show.
Amen.
And then, of course, we have the missing link.
Missing link.
You never had that puzzle? No,
Oh, yeah.
Missing link.
I could never get it.
Oh, that's not the slide puzzle with all the tiles, is it?
Well, it does have a slide, but you rotate at the same time. You slide one. You try to get all the chain link colors matched, and one of them.
I know the one
I
you're
got
talking
you,
about.
I got
I
you.
played that one. I
That's
enjoyed
old
that one.
school.
I saw both.
So Rubik's
Well,
Cube.
we don't doubt that.
Did you solve
He
Rubik's
solved
Cube?
it.
Yes.
Damn, I
Without
don't-
taking the stickers
He's
off?
a-
I did
We-
not take the stickers off. I rotated, and I finally just messed with it enough to where finally I was like, oh, wait a minute. This needs to go here. You figure out a pattern in it. It's what it is. You start to figure out a pattern, and then after a while, you know where something else needs to slide, and then boom.
I
there it
spent
was.
14 years trying to do that. But I am good with the poker machines.
I solved it in 5 days.
No.
No, that's the slides.
Woo,
They can't all be winners,
Either that or when
people.
you're driving a train for the first time. Woo, woo.
No, that's the big rig, right?
Boom, chopper,
Yeah, you
rocker.
ride by the big truck. You do this as a little kid.
Yep.
The horn, the truck driver blows the horn. Your dad's not seeing this because you're in the,
Right.
all right, we're going back to the 70s. So you're in the back of a station wagon facing backwards in the rear seat.
My mom had a Matador wagon with wood paneling in the rear seat, and I got people mad.
Dude, that's a deuce and a quarter right there. Okay? So you're riding along in this thing.
Right along in my automobile.
This driver goes to pass you. You're sitting here doing this, all the kids. The guy's blowing the horn. Your dad's in there. He's mad. He reaches out. He flips off the driver. Now the driver's trying to run you off the road. See how that works?
I have a 70s snowball story.
That's very
70s
specific.
snowball story? Please tell me it doesn't involve cocaine.
No, not that kind of snowballing. We had a blizzard back in, I think it was, so let me think about it. It must have been like 74 or 75 in Atlantic City, New Jersey. We're talking about over 3 feet of snow.
Wow.
So as it started to clear out, we lived in a 2-story row house.
Okay.
So, and it had a balcony that you could only get to if you climbed out the window.
Well,
Don't ask me. They were older buildings, so I don't know what the heck they did back
It
in
was
the
a
day.
fire
Was
escape.
it
man.
decorative?
No, there's no fire escape there. Not really. There were some beer cans and stuff thrown up there, and something I don't want to talk about. But I one
Thank
time
you.
hit somebody who was in a car with a snowball. Boom!
From there?
Yeah, and it hit him passenger side. So if his window was down, I would have nailed his butt. But it made such impact because it was part slush, and I was high up, it's coming down. He got out of that car, rushed into the house because he thought they were apartments. So he just slams open the
my
front door,
gosh.
comes running out. My dog, Buddy, who's half lab, half German Shepherd, he's about 90 pounds, went after this guy. My mom doesn't know what the heck's going on, so she's screaming that she's going to call the police. There's someone trying to attack us, Timmy. And I was hiding upstairs hoping it'd all go away, but it didn't. I had
And
to
you missed
apologize.
it in the fight.
Well, you're lucky it's all you had to do. You could have broke a window.
I broke many a windows.
We were driving in Portsmouth one day and had a couple of kids throw some firecrackers in the passenger window.
Ooh.
Well, that's not good.
It was very
I'm sorry.
Scary.
Did we hit a
very
lull?
scary. Very scary.
He's not sexting you, is he?
No, but he's giving me a play-by-play of dinner, and I don't know why.
Oh, should we read it and have fun with it?
It has something to do with chicken enchiladas. That's all I'll say.
It puts the fork
Well,
in
chicken
its mouth.
enchiladas are a good thing.
They are a good thing. And I would like to hurry this up so I can go home and have one. So, just
Oh my God, what? Man, she's tired of this crap already.
Yeah, so she's
the
already thinking about
70s,
chicken enchiladas.
man.
All right, you control the tempo here.
I control the tempo.
All right, so anyway, 70s. This was my look in the 70s.
That
Kiss,
was
the old
your
hottest band in the world. Kiss. And then, of
Complete with
course,
the damn
the
hat.
Rocky hat that all the Guidos like to wear in my neighborhood.
Well, I chose a poncho and it's crocheted, so that's double point.
Oh, it's like Clint Eastwood. The
Kinda.
good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, but he had more of a rug kind of thing going on.
No,
But
chest hair.
I didn't get into my fashion stride until the 80s because I was only 5 by the time the 80s started. So,
Well, I was only 7 by the
but I
time
wear
the
bell
80s
bottoms
started.
and high rise. You were older. You were
2
you're
years
70
older, I was 73.
73.
73. So, yeah, in the 70s, I was still wearing what Mom bought for me to wear, which was pretty much corduroys and striped shirts.
Talking about, my mom used to go to it was called what was it called? Garwood Mills. It was the cheap, dump everything wrong store that poor people shopped at. So she would dress me in whatever she found there. It was always out of style. So when everyone switched to straight legs, I'm in bell bottoms and a weird jersey that says "Let's Boogie." I'm a teeny little guy about a year behind everybody else, and I'm banging on their door Saturday morning trying to sell them the Watchtower and Awake magazines for free, and they don't want them.
You are a plethora of 70s stories. I love it.
I have some good stuff.
I know. So we just came up with a bunch of different stuff from the 70s to get you back in the mood for the era of
Pear-shaped butts.
pear-shaped butts.
There's nothing wrong with
There's
pear-shaped.
not a butt on this list. But we're going to
I'll sit on
There's
it later.
your butt. But we're going to start with Tim. He he made a list of all the noteworthy headlines or things that happened by year.
That's right, I did.
And so he's going to start with good old 1970.
All right, in 1970, I was just a wee lad of 7 years old.
7.
So I was glued to the news while other children watched cartoons.
We were 0.
I watched the U.S. troops invade Cambodia, and I gave up watching Captain Kangaroo. Nixon, president. I am not a crook. That guy had charisma, I gotta tell you. All right, 4 students at Kent State University killed prostrating themselves to Cambodian immigrants.
That would be protesting.
Oh!
He can't read excellent
There might have been a
penmanship.
prostitution.
Do we need a grammar lesson?
No, he needs...
The Beatles broke up, but you know what? It's okay. Because they completed Strawberry Fields Forever and Sgt. Pepper's album, and I'm good. After that, it was all crap. Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin OD at 27, but not together.
Separately.
Yes.
Separately, but they were a couple.
Yeah, well, Janice was a couple with everybody.
Was she?
She started with Bobby McGee, and it just went downhill from there until she found someone that bought her a Mercedes-Benz. All right, so Monday Night Football debuts. Yep,
Yay.
remember well.
Women everywhere rejoiced.
It was the only thing on, though. Back then, we had 3 stations, and if you lived in rural America, you had a lot of tin foil, and if you were the youngest child, you know what you were doing.
Right?
No, dude, we didn't have rabbit ears. We had the big antenna that you had to go out there and turn the antenna.
Oh.
So you had to go out there and take a pipe wrench and rotate the antenna. So, okay! And it came in, and instead of a piece of coax cable like everybody's used to coming in our house, it was a flat wire with 2 conductors in.
Oh,
on
yep,
each
yep.
side.
I remember that.
And you had to take and screw it to the back of the TV.
That's right. Yeah, and it was U-shaped, so you had to put it behind the screw, right?
Yeah, it did have a fork.
Weird stuff, people.
Always put it
thermal.
behind the screw. What else we got?
All right, so 1970, we're still on. Top movies was MASH, good movie. The original started the series. Who was in that? Sutherland, Donald Sutherland, and oh my God, who else? Sally Strother. No, that was All in the Family. But anyway, Patton, didn't see it. Love Story, would rather vomit. It was a teenage boy. And I can run around watching Love Story.
No.
And Airport, yep. Those boobs were nice. I don't remember much else about the movie except Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was in it and something about a kid sitting on his lap. That's all I know.
Yeah, then they'd turn around and put him in an airplane.
I know, right? All right, well, we completed 1970. Let's play a song.
Work. Yes.
What do we got?
Oh.
Looking for a nice, relaxing adventure? Come on over to Weldon Mills Distillery in Weldon, North Carolina, where offered on the gorgeous backdrop of the Roanoke River is a fun and enjoyable experience. Come hang out for a tour and tasting of our award-winning bourbons and whiskeys. Sample exquisite gins and vodkas. Stay for some conversation and a cocktail. Open 7 days a week. For hours, new products, events, recipes, and more, follow us on Facebook at Weldon Mills Distillery. That is hilarious. Oh, man. Okay, we're back.
We are back.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
Anyway,
Yeah.
So Stone Empire, we haven't talked about and played any of the music in a while, but they are a great metal band from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
We probably got every song. Actually, we have every song.
That was called State of Control.
State of Control, yeah.
Yeah. And I made a couple notes about them.
Yeah.
It was heavy. It was heavier than I thought it was going to be, but they kind of reminded me of Soundgarden a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, that's a good thing.
yeah, always good thing. Yeah, that was my first thought.
They are, like, half their songs, we don't play them, and it's not that they're not good, guys, if you're listening. It's just that the singing is too heavy. State of Control, like, I like metal if you can understand the vocals and enjoy his singing along with everything else. That scream death metal crap, never got into it, I don't like it. All right, so, yeah, good band.
It was enjoyable.
All right, what's the next, Boss Queen?
Well, let's see. Okay. I'll just throw out a little miscellaneous. I got the miscellaneous stats. The average life expectancy of people in the 70s, as of the 70s.
65.
67 for a male
Mm-hmm.
and 74 for female.
Yes, back then, nagging your husbands to death was commonplace.
It's funny because I do remember when I was in school that it was said one time that by a teacher, she said, young lady, she said, if you don't want to be a widow, you will marry a man that's at least 7 years younger than you.
Mm.
Well, that was not good math.
Yeah, and I'm not into older women, so, that wouldn't work for me.
That is the math. 7 years.
But I wouldn't want to marry somebody who's going to make it past 67.
But the thing is, though,
I
if
probably
you didn't
won't.
want to be a widow,
Gotcha.
so
Because
that you
she's
would
going to go
die
on before.
4 or around the same
Click.
time.
Did you hear that click? It clicked.
So that means if you with somebody
Yep.
same age,
You'll have lived your life to the fullest and don't have to worry about.
the thing is he's liable as a woman. He's liable to go before you. And it's usually where you hear
Right.
more women widowed than
Yep,
men.
that's true.
Women tend to outlive men.
That's true.
And I stated the reason why earlier, so we can move on.
Yes, the average yearly salary, $7,564.
Yeah, because back in the early 70s, a new car was $3,000.
Yeah, well, I mean, inflation hadn't eat everything up.
No, but that's a good segue, guys.
And a guy who made $100,000 a year was considered wealthy.
Yes.
How about popular 70s cars I owned?
Yes, I didn't make a list for that. Please share.
79 Ford Green Pinto.
Nice.
Its reputation was if you were hit at a certain speed from behind, you rear-ended, it would blow up. But I was broadsided by a cop, but he didn't hit my rear end.
Well, that's what's
He
most
wanted to
important.
spank me later, but we didn't get together for that.
I'll tell you what, though, the 70s introduced a lot of really cool ass cars.
Well, my favorite car that I've ever owned, it was a 77 Pontiac Trans Am. Had the 6.6 floating hood scoop. I had the I did the traditional 70s. Kreger's, 60s on the front, 50s on the back, Kreger rims, tow bars.
Right.
I mean, the whole thing. I had a 9-speaker system without one bass speaker in the whole
T-top?
thing. No, I didn't have a T-top. No, I don't think they offered them in '77. When he switched over to '78 and came out there with that wussy engine, and then they offered.
Well, I
T-tops.
can tell you that that's probably one of the most iconic cars of the '70s was the 5-door Trans Am.
And I owned one, and I don't have it no more.
Poor boy. All right, so Tony,
But Tim does, and I want it.
why don't you give us a couple of popular slangs from the 70s? I bet you used them.
All right.
And I
Well,
knew most of them, and I think we use most of them today.
all right.
still.
Well, let's just pick a few from the list. I mean,
Yeah,
we
you
do
go
have
ahead.
20 sitting here, but we'll just kind of pick them random.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now, all right. First one, take a chill pill. I use that even in the 80s. I've heard people use that
Yeah.
recently. Take a chill pill.
Yeah.
Or better yet, it kind of evolved into chill out.
Yep.
To chill
and
out.
then it
It'll never
became
die.
the evil cousin chillax.
Chillax
That's
Well,
the
some people
worst.
say I'm just chillaxing.
I hate that word.
And now they just Netflix and chill.
We just are.
All right, well, here we go. Let's look at some other ones right here. This was actually probably one of the most iconic things. Far out.
Far out, man.
Because everybody pretty much stayed far
Yeah.
out.
That sounds 60s though, don't it?
Well, the 70s socially was very split, much like any decade. But, I mean, even in music, when the 70s started, what ruled was that folk music.
Uh-huh.
And then you got into soft rock, and then hard rock came out, and then disco formed, and then it turned into punk. It was like crazy.
It started to really, for 20 years, from 1970 all the way to 1990, we had like a really big just mix of
Great music.
Yeah, great music. Culture changed radically from time to time. Like, okay, here's another one. This is kind of near and dear because, all right, the 70s had the CB radio craze.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the biggest things. And what really put people into those crazes was movies like Convoy,
Mm-hmm.
all right, and then Smokey and the Bandit. So Smokey and the Bandit not only added to the trucker the trucker phenomenon where people like truckers. It also the car. Then you had the fact that people love
Hooper.
Who?
Remember Hooper had a Trans Am and he jumped, and Burt Reynolds played a stuntman in a movie called Hooper.
Yeah, I do remember Hooper.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then of course you had
Mr. Hooper was on Sesame Street.
The CB craze came from like Smokey and the Bandit attitude to CB craze, but it started making people defy authority.
BJ and the Bear kept CB alive.
Well, yeah, they were part of it, but that was so stupid. I mean, this guy's riding around with a massive chimpanzee.
Well, Clint Eastwood did it, and
Clint Eastwood had an orangutan that was useful because if you had a biker gang, all you had to do was say right turn, Clyde, and he would like knock the first guy over and they'd fall like that.
I swear to God, if I had an orangutan for every time that a biker gang pulled next to me at a light,
they would be too busy laughing. They'd be like, "Oh, y'all go on, have a good day."
Which one's the chimpanzee?
I'm gonna say
Yeah,
this:
those
those two movies, Any Which Way But Loose and Any Which Way You Can. Honestly, to me, Any Which Way You Can kind of was better.
Are you aware of this movie? These movies?
Yeah,
They're funny.
They are
hilarious.
Those are so classic because of the grandma in it, Ma.
Yes.
Oh, I love.
She was hilarious because when the bikers decided to take their bikes and tear up her yard or house, she brought out that shotgun and she didn't take any crap.
We're talking about two Clint Eastwood comedies called Every Which Way But Loose and Every Which Way You Can. And they're gotta-sees.
Well, most Clint Eastwood movies are gotta-sees.
Oh, I love me.
And of course, after that, it got serious with Clint Eastwood with the Dirty Harry stuff.
Big in the 70s.
Yeah, very big in the 70s. And then let's take a look at some more of these sayings that we've got here. All right. So, all right. Cool beans.
Are you skipping some, I hope?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
He's
I'm just
picking
kind of
and
jumping around the
Cool
list.
beans.
Cool beans, because everybody's cool
I use
beans.
that.
Can I see this list? I want to see if there's anything on it I actually said. Because, psych.
Yeah, everybody said psych.
Hit you on the flip side. I've used that. Stop dipping in my Kool-Aid. Oh, no. I didn't go to those kind of bars. The man. Do me a solid. Do me a solid.
Well, yeah, do me a solid, but the man, that was more like a funk African-American thing. Is that gonna stick it to the man.
Well, that's what it referred to, authority figure.
Yeah, they're gonna stick it to the man. So that was, like I said, that was more of the, we were coming out of segregation. And it was still a lot of tension between, white and black in the 70s. And so...
In the early parts, yes.
Yeah, so the black community more or less looked at any successful man because all of your politicians pretty much were white. Your big business owners were white. So they feel like, hey, we got to stick it to the man.
No, I remember it.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't
like
just a black thing. It was...
And then you had things
a rebel.
Came out, like Foxy Brown,
Downtown Foxy Brown.
Yeah,
but that was in the 80s.
Not to know, that was downtown Julie Brown.
Julie.
That was downtown Julie Brown. I'm talking about Foxy Brown.
Oh, Foxy Brown.
Yeah.
Just like in the Austin Power movies.
Well, she was Foxy Cleopatra.
I know.
They were making a parody of that because at the same time they were turning around and making Dr. Evil. He was a parody of the guy from the James Bond movies. Dr. Evil tended to be a combination of all those James Bond villains, particularly the early ones with Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do the news and then we'll play a song.
Educate us about 71.
All right, so 1971. I was a blossoming young man at 8 years old.
We were still 0.
Yep, I still had 10
We were
years.
actually negatives.
Negatives.
The voting age lowered to 18. All in the Family debuts. What a wonderful show. Jim Morrison OD to 27 in Paris.
What's it about 27 that makes these people want to OD?
I don't know, maybe that's the magical age your body gives out when that's all you've been doing for 5 years. Dwayne Allman
dies.
Is that Dwayne? Dwayne Allman dies at 24 motorcycle accident. All right, so movies. A Clockwork Orange.
I will never watch that movie ever again.
I've
One
never seen
and
it.
done. Don't. It's very disturbing.
I read the book.
Okay.
The French Connection, which was Gene Hackman. That was
that was a
that
big
was a
car
great movie.
chase
Yes.
movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yep.
All right, we
Good
need to
job,
play
71.
some funky music. Karate Construction out of Ahoskie, North Carolina is an outstanding choice for all your home improvement and construction needs. When quality and honest estimates combined with years of experience along with local references matter, give us a call. We can handle any job, big or small, such as construction, additions, remodeling, roofs, foundations, interior or exterior painting, and more for both commercial and residential. We also offer power washing services as well as a 24-hour emergency hotline and free estimates on any kind of job. Check us out online at karateconstruction.com or give us a call at 252-377-3341. All right, so we're back.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
So,
More 70s.
Adam
More
Eckersley, yeah.
70s.
All right, some more 70s. Should we just start with the news?
Yes,
Or do you want to
sir.
start with something else?
No,
You're the
let's-
boss.
I am not the boss. I like to think that I am. But
I
am
like
not.
to think you're the boss.
Well, why don't you cover 72 and then I'll hit some fun stuff.
All right, I'll go slower. Now, in 1972, I was 9 years old as an Arab terrorist group invaded the Olympic Village in Munich.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember it on the news. But we're talking, I'm 8 years old.
Yeah, but still, it was still of the age where if something major was happening in the world, the families would gather around the TV together.
It was,
So-
but
One thing
I didn't
that I
have a
want to
family.
reiterate here, so any of our viewers or listeners, if you were born in the 90s, all right, I want to remind you of something that we dealt with as children that you didn't have to deal with. So in the
Quicksand.
that's always everybody's fear. So we
not
were
mine.
under constant threat of nuclear annihilation from the Soviet Union.
Oh, wait a minute. Deja vu.
So a lot of people tend to forget that the Cold War was going on during this time.
We'd have to look it up, but I think Putin is probably my age.
Well, Putin, I'm sure, he's a former KGB agent.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy,
I like the guy.
I don't know. I think Putin might be. I'd say he's probably over 60.
He'll never tell.
No, he won't tell. He just rides shirtless on a stallion.
Oh my gosh. That reminds me of a,
Well, let's see if we can find.
Oh my God, we have a knock-knock joke.
yeah.
Bah.
Alright, knock knock.
Who's there?
KGB.
KGB who?
We will ask the questions.
Whoa! God, I just got turned
That
on
was
by
from
that.
the office.
If
Don't
our
tell
friend
Dale.
will not tell his age, we will tell it for him. He was born 7th of October, 1952.
Okay.
Oh, I wonder what his elf name is.
Putin. It's also a verb.
It is.
Are you Putin?
Stop it.
No.
He's
Hey,
Putin pants.
so what's next?
He's Putin pants.
Nixon orders Christmas bombing of North Vietnam. Nothing says Merry Christmas like bombs.
Agent Orange.
But them bastards deserve it.
Actually,
They were
you know what?
heartless,
Agent
cruel
Orange.
people.
A lot of people don't understand exactly what Agent Orange was and what it was used for. Agent Orange was a defoliant. That's what it was. It was used to.
Oh, for skin.
No, well,
Well, yeah.
here's the thing. A lot of people don't realize, but you still use a compound today. You go to Lowe's, you buy it all the time. You still use a compound today that was half the ingredient of Agent Orange. Agent Orange was a compound of 2,4-D and 2,4,5-T. 2,4,5-T has been banned worldwide because that was the carcinogen in Agent Orange. 2,4-D, however, is still a common herbicide used today. It's a broadleaf killer.
And there you have it. So,
much.
oh my God,
Well, I'm
it's
in
scary.
the chemical and ag business.
That's right.
I will tell you this. My dad served in Vietnam. He was a gunner on the helicopters, and his doctor told him that we, as his children, should make sure our doctors know he served in Vietnam, so they know that Agent Orange was the play, because he said everybody was exposed to it, and that it follows generations.
Well, that's why you have
The
so much
issues.
cancer these days, because the carcinogens that our grandparents and parents were exposed to, particularly, my grandfather, he built ships in World War II in the Navy Yard. There was things like that on board, maybe not Agent Orange, but other chemicals.
Asbestos.
Well, asbestos is not, what asbestos does is that causes mesothelioma from the fibers that damages
Right.
your lungs.
Right.
Okay, causes emphysema, things like that. All right. Now, chemicals that can get into the bloodstream and actually cause genetic mutations, that's where we're talking. Those get passed generation to generation.
So that explains what happened to me.
And so anyways, the whole point of that story was to say, my dad told me if I have any major health issues, I need to make sure they know he served in Vietnam, because that may be a factor in why I have what I have. But I don't have
You got
anything.
things that are affecting people all the way back to the First World War.
Yeah.
You know, my dad didn't serve in a war. You know why?
Why?
They couldn't find his drunk ass.
Oh, nice. So what other uplifting things happened in 70s?
HBO debuts. That was pretty exciting. Now, I mean,
Oh, box office. Remember when they used to have the intermissions?
Yep.
When they'd show movies like Gandhi,
yes, I remember
That was
intermissions
awesome.
on
They need an
HBO.
intermission
Out
so
of
everybody
Africa.
can get up and
I remember that
stretch.
one.
Dances with testicles.
No.
MASH on TV debuts. That was one of my favorite shows.
That was a great show.
The chemistry with those actors was amazing.
That was probably one
It
of
was
the
a great
original
show.
comedies.
Yeah, I could see. Oh, yeah.
They took a dire situation and made a great comedy from it because,
Well-
I mean, the war in Korea was no fun.
But could you imagine the pitch of that show? I would have loved to have been part of that.
They're like, I don't know about that one.
But you know what? What is the show back in the 60s or the 50s? I think the 60s, where they were POWs in the Nazi war camp, and they made
Oh, Chuck Norris movies.
they made a comedy, a sitcom out of it.
What's it called?
Hogan's Heroes.
Hogan's
Oh,
Heroes.
I know that
so
show.
I guess
Hogan's
they said,
Heroes.
well, we can laugh about the Vietnam War too.
Yeah,
It
Hogan's
was really
Heroes
successful.
still a cult classic, and you got other shows that talked about, wartime. You had Rat Patrol. That's one of those little forgotten things where you had these guys out there in jeeps. Back a lot of people don't realize a lot of World War II was fought in North Africa. Rommel was the Desert Fox. General Rommel, German general, was
We're gonna go
they
back
called him the
rabbit
Desert
hole,
Fox.
aren't we?
Yes, pretty much. All right, what else?
Man,
Atari introduces Pong.
I had Pong. Did you
I
have
had
Pong?
the
Yes.
handheld. I had the one, the original.
You did?
Little handheld. It was like boop, boop.
Yep, but it was skill. I mean, you had to work hard.
You did, and it's
You
so
had
hard
to turn
to.
the thing.
Yep.
Boom,
That was it.
Boom.
Left,
boom,
right,
boom.
left, right.
Yep.
It was crazy.
And then when they came out with the Atari, the games really didn't get much more complex. You
No.
just kept repeating levels.
Joystick just moved.
I had a
Yep.
handheld Coleco, one of the first. ever
ColecoVision.
Yeah.
I remember because I had a keypad on it, right?
No, not mine. It was.
Oh.
I had bought the football one. It was
Oh, you
5
had to
dots
say
versus
hand.
5 dots, and it was.
This was like I remember that. My ColecoVision was like the Atari, but it had a long. The controller was long, and it had like the Pong part up here, and then it had a keypad on it. I don't remember. It looked like a cell phone or a keypad on
They made things
alarm.
complex.
I don't know, but I had fun with it. I couldn't tell you what game I played on it. Maybe Qbert, maybe.
Never heard of it.
Anyways, what else we got?
Prozac came out for
Prozac
you
came
nutbags out there.
A lot of people were thinking.
Email was introduced.
Yes, but I didn't have one.
Who did?
Movies: The Godfather, loved it. Deliverance.
I've never
Ooh.
seen it.
You got a pretty mouth, boy.
I was just
Squeal
gonna
for me.
say that. I use that line all the time from that movie. You got a pretty mouth,
Do
boy.
we look surprised?
No, probably not.
Okay.
Deaths: J. Edgar Hoover, Harry S. Truman, and My Sister Was Born.
They
Must
still
be
haven't
some
played
kind of
J.
weird-
Edgar Hoover.
Oh no, this is
My sister
A
was
Star
born.
Was Born.
No, my sister was born.
Barbara Streisand's your sister?
No.
Well, you know what? I got to say that there was a few people that were very active during that era that we talked about the Vietnam War. Because of what she did, I hate Jane Fonda.
Tim hates her too.
Yes, yes. And you know what? I don't like her.
And he hates her.
All right, so let's play a song.
Okay. What's we got?
Blow! Yeah. With
Yes, here comes Blow Doctor.
Oh, let me tell you real quick
Your
my
way of getting out of a cokehead.
notes about that song. it's got a good driving beat at the beginning.
Mhm.
And it makes me think that'd be a great song to play when you do manual labor.
How do you like his
He's the rhythm
vocals?
going.
They were different.
Yes.
They were totally different. I've not heard.
Guitar work
which
is
is
good. No, it's a good. They're a great band.
Yep. It's a good band to sweat to.
Yeah.
I actually talked to them quite a bit. They sent us all their music. They're a great band. Blow.
Thanks.
All right, so we're back. Woo!
Woohoo.
More 70s.
Yes.
Yes.
So here's some good tidbits. Snack foods that were invented in the 70s.
Oh,
And I bet you probably have had every single one of them, and you probably too.
And
Because
some
I
of
think
them are actually off the market now, I'm sure.
most of them are still on the market.
Oh my God, Charms Blow Pops. Love
Don't
them.
read over my shoulder.
I'm not.
Charms Blow Pop.
Your wrist, maybe.
Those were big to sell in high school and middle school. Remember?
Yeah, because the thing is, blow pops, we always used to like watch the girls in.
Yes, we did not. Bottle caps.
Oh my
I
God,
still
I
like
love
eating
bottle
bottle
caps.
caps.
The soda one was my favorite.
The root beer was
Oh, the root beer too. Oh, I love that.
Let me ask you, do you like root beer itself?
no.
I do.
You know what's good is birch beer.
I always like those little chalky candies like that.
Did you ever have birch beer?
Then you liked to eat the stick on the Fun Dip.
Nah. Ooh, Pop Rocks. Oh my God, I love
Fun
Pop
Dip.
Rocks.
Yeah, I did that. Pop
And
Rocks,
if you give
yeah.
them to pigeons, bad things happen.
Yeah, I don't even know if they're on the market anymore.
Pop Rocks
They are. Oh yeah.
They are?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
York peppermint patties.
Yes. I didn't like them when I was younger, but I do now.
When I eat a York peppermint patty,
That's your age.
I get the sensation.
Yep. I was trying to think of what it was, and you got it.
You know what? Can you imagine if a guy like Larry Holmes? Do you remember Larry?
The boxer?
Yeah. You know, he couldn't talk.
Oh, who?
Yeah, we couldn't
I'm
talk.
thinking
He's like,
Larry.
Hi, my name is Larry Holmes.
I know.
And when I eat the York peppermint patty candy, I get Sam say, Sam, all I wanted to say, sensation.
Oh my God.
Down running naked through the woods, and little children sprinkling cool water all over my butt. And damn, it tastes good.
That was Larry Holmes.
Actually, I'm paraphrasing. Eddie Murphy said that
I
first.
was
It was still funny.
paraphrasing.
It is funny.
How about everlasting gobstopper?
So you just paraphrased a quote, a thing from Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
I know he's kooky.
He is kooky.
Jelly Belly. I do not like Jelly Belly.
I didn't like them. Now I do like the Gobstoppers.
Yeah, and do you remember? They were layers.
Yeah.
They actually went.
And see, now they come in these little tiny Gobstoppers.
It's just a waste.
Yeah, ring pops.
Ring
I didn't
pops.
like how they made my fingers sticky. I couldn't do it.
They were kind
These
of
are my favorite to this day.
Yeah, Reese's.
Oh,
Pieces.
E.T. loved Reese's Pieces.
Yes,
But
especially
E.T. was in the 80s that came out.
Yeah.
But Reese's
Pieces
Pieces.
were in the 70s. And then at Easter, you get these big Reese's Pieces eggs. That's the one bag of candy I'll eat from start to finish, then allow myself to do that.
She's crazy.
And then, whatchamacallit?
How do you spell it?
Oh my gosh, that was the best. Twix.
How do you spell it?
Yeah. Charleston
Twix,
shoes.
that was back
I
before
love
they
them.
started
I put
fighting
them in the
all left and right.
refrigerator until they came crisp.
Yes, yes.
Oh, love
Do you
that.
know what I just saw at the grocery store?
Was he naked?
Charleston Chew Bites. They're like
Oh.
little balls.
Yes.
of Charleston
I have to get
Gross. Dynamints.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
that. Dino Mints.
But you remember Laffy
Laffy Taffy, of course.
They still have it. Laffy Taffy's
They
around.
sure do.
And back then, we could still get candy cigarettes.
Oh, I used to.
Oh yeah. What about the
I thought it
ones
was
that
so
the
bad.
gum ones?
Well, the actual chalky candy cigarettes tasted pretty good.
They weren't bad. I
They
liked
weren't
them.
bad,
Yeah.
but you would get this white film around your mouth.
Well, that was the
and
whole
stay
thing.
in there
And
for
you know
too
what
long.
else we had that was so cool back then? Pixie Stix.
Mm.
Pixie Stix. Now, you always had this one kid. He was like a drug dealer on the playground. He had his Pixie Stix. You have some kid that was just he was joking.
Have a container of sugar.
He come on there, he said, hey, you got any Pixie Stix? He said, I said, what you want? I got
Are you quoting a movie again?
Probably.
And then, of course, they had the big one. Do you remember the big one that had all that powder in it that would give you a sugar rush and your mama had to like beat you with the stick because
like
you would calm down?
exaggerated.
I mean, it was like this long. It was full of that crap.
It was.
Did
It's
you ever-
plastic.
Did you ever get it in your nose by
Yeah, it
accident?
burns.
Oh my God, yeah.
It
was
burns.
horrible.
You
It's
shouldn't
bad.
know that. So now, Tony, tell us about some of the serial killers that were active in the 70s.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Even though you put him at number 8, I'm going to talk about the guy that's probably more famous than anybody, Ted Bundy.
And let me tell you, he's the only serial killer I could find that didn't have a nickname.
No, he was just Ted Bundy
Bundy.
because this guy was so charismatic when he went in
Suave.
court that the judge actually said, you know, I would have loved to have known you in another way. I would have loved to have practiced law with you because the guy was a very knowledgeable lawyer, but he was a psychopath. So ultimately,
Aren't we all?
he rode the lightning in old Sparky.
Yes,
Well,
he did.
He just rode the wave of people
So
moving him on.
Oh, the Zodiac Killer in New York City.
yeah, the Zodiac, he was pretty well famous. And then the other one, the Killer Clown, John Wayne Gacy. That guy was sick, man. Very sick. All right. Then you had, Jeffrey Dahmer.
The Dahmer.
When Jeffrey Dahmer said, I want you to come over for dinner, he was having you over for dinner.
Mm.
I watched a movie called My Friend Dahmer, which was supposed to be about Jeffrey Dahmer as a teenager and how he came to be.
Oh, you got Dennis Rader, the BTK killer. Okay, that's
What
another
a
one.
piece of
Boo-boo heads.
Then you had Edward Kemper, the co-ed
Let
killer.
me say, he's my favorite of all the serial killers, not because of what he did.
I don't know who he is.
So personable. He was like 7 foot tall, huge, but he was a gentleman. He was
Well, what was
very
his modus?
knowledgeable.
How did he kill?
Well, he liked to strangle and stab co-eds, hitchhikers, young women.
Oh, yeah.
And his mother was very abusive, and she got the worst of it. That he even called him and reported himself. No, he didn't.
What?
After he killed his mom and her friend, I don't know that he turned himself in, but he was real friendly with the police at the bars that they used to hang out at, so nobody ever
Suspected
So,
him.
I mean, the thing is, you got one more up here, which a lot of people, if they saw him, they kind of associate the name. All right, Richard
Kuklinski.
Cottingham.
Oh.
Cottingham, the torso killer. Not to be mixed up with Richie Cunningham.
No, I thought
Yeah.
the same thing. That was the guy in the Netflix documentary I was talking about who
Yeah.
killed the
Okay, that's why I've heard of
prostitutes.
it.
And so,
Yeah.
see, when people in the 70s screwed
All right,
up like
Jayme
this, all right, now when somebody goes out on a serial killer spree, they're going to either get put down humanely with lethal injection or they're going to go to prison for life. Back in the 70s, we still didn't play. I'm talking about the electric chair was very alive and well. The gas chamber was still in use in North Carolina. Hanging was still in use in certain states, and so was the firing squad.
But you got to pick, right?
You didn't have a choice. Whatever that
now
state
you have a
had.
choice.
Well, Virginia says that you can either get lethal injection or you can have the electric chair. What do you think most people are going to pick?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Cast your vote now.
There's probably
Who
some
didn't
tough guy that
pick?
says, you know what, I lived a hard life, I was a badass. They're going to kill me, I'm going to ride the lightning. Strap him in and fire him up. That's all I got to say.
I say if they got killed the way they killed their victims.
I like that.
Well, I would agree because honestly, victims never had that had to be a gruesome way to die, which a lot of these murders happened because a lot of these people, they were tortured, dismembered, they were stabbed several times, they suffered greatly.
Well, that's the
before
thing. They were
passed.
tortured first. I
Yes.
mean, hours, days, weeks. You see how long you could keep them alive. Did I read the news? Are we on the news?
You're now in 73.
But did we already do it at the beginning of this segment, or no?
Yes. Who knows? You're in 1973.
I'm in 1973. I'm a wee lad of how old would it be? 10.
I was born in
Tony
73.
McCain.
Yeah, I'm 10. Shit. All right, U.S. ground troops pulled from Vietnam. Yes, and their welcome home was sad.
Oh,
That's how liberals
shame
were there
on
then,
the
and that's how
country.
liberals are now.
it was horrible.
The MRI developed.
Yeah. Or, as I've heard a lot of times, the MRI.
All right.
MRI. I had somebody call my office one day and ask, how do you spell MRI?
How do you?
I bet you they're the same person that calls somebody up and say, quick, give me the number for 911.
Well, yeah,
It would go hand in
119.
hand.
I'm dyslexic. Nixon accepts responsibility for Watergate. I did it. Marlon Brando sends Sachin Littlefoot to academies to protest government's I don't even know anything
Do you not
about
know
that.
anything about that?
No.
You don't remember that?
In 73, I don't think cultural politics was high on my list.
But I think that's where it started with politics getting involved with, in that capacity with movie stars, you know, pushing their agendas. Thanks, Marlon Brando.
Yo, man. Movies, The Exorcist.
The most
Tony's
horrible
favorite
movie
of all the
all
time. Oh, you have until January 31st to watch it on HBO before they take it out of
I'm not watching
rotation. Well, I just want you to have
I'm
the
not
information.
I didn't know.
I'm not watching it either. That stuff's real.
The Sting and The Last Tango in Paris.
That was supposed to be steamy, wasn't it? I
Never
think
saw
it had Jessica Lange and Jack Nicholson
time.
with Tony Collins.
I don't know.
What?
Oh my God!
Look, the last movie that
He's
I
fired.
saw that had Jessica Lange in it was the 70s version of King
King
Kong.
Kong, yeah. And she was hot in that.
Very hot in that.
I'm
Yeah.
glad Dale's
She
not-
might have been the hottest one.
But you know what I found is so funny? Why is it that stuff from like the 60s and 70s was so corny? So, not long ago, for some reason, I decided to watch on Tubi TV the old Batman series with Adam West. It
Why?
was the corniest crap I had ever seen in my life. Why did they label everything? This would have been, it would have had a sign that says the Bat microphone. This would have been the Bat cup. This would have been the Bat cell phone. This would have been the secret Bat communicator.
It would have been.
That would have been the Bat door. This would have been the Bat table. It would have been written on it.
And if I threw poop at you, it would have been splat all across
It would have
the
said
screen.
splat.
Exactly.
And if he hit you, it would have said thwack or boing.
Whack.
Yeah, it was the dumbest thing.
Bring back the whack. Let's bring back the whack.
Do you know he's so whacked? I think it must be people that played superheroes back then, like the original Reeves, who thought he was Superman and ended up killing
Oh,
himself.
George Reeves, yeah.
But then Adam West, when they cast a new Bat in one of the Batmans, he's like, I'm so mad they didn't pick me to play Batman. You're friggin' 70.
Yeah. And I tell you what else
That's
is crazy
the
too.
original age.
This is crazy. It's
Oh,
obviously
good.
not funny, but this is dramatic irony for you. Okay, so we're
Dramatic.
talking about 70s.
Mhm.
So Christopher Reeves was Superman in the 70s. Okay, the Man of Steel ends up as a paraplegic. That is dramatic irony.
Yep, the one kills himself and the other one flies off a horse.
I would not want to play that role.
No, I refuse, producer and director. I'm out of here.
Okay, so good job there.
Thank you.
I'm going to tell you a couple bits of fashion that were big in the 70s. It's just a lot was, but these are just the top ones. Polyester,
Mm-hmm.
platform shoes,
Mm-hmm.
bell bottoms,
All right.
leisure suits,
Mm-hmm.
track suits,
Mm.
pantsuits,
Mm-hmm.
chest hair,
Mm-hmm.
medallions.
Still is popular, by the way.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Butterfly collars,
Mm-hmm.
sideburns. You got sideburns? Okay, he got sideburns.
I didn't realize you
Leisure.
had ears. God darn.
Tennis headbands,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
ponchos,
Oh, yeah.
capes, gauchos, culottes, chokers.
Oh, chokers were
Not the
popular.
type of person, the fashion.
Yes, the serial killers. like you do.
Right. Not the Ted Bundy chokers, the necklace. Hot pants.
Oh, God, I love hot pants.
Couples who wear
They
matching
named girls
clothes.
out the hot pants.
Oh,
Couples who wear matching clothes.
okay.
Uh,
That was people we made fun
and
of.
plaid sports jackets. Dale has
Yeah,
got
Dale, yeah,
several.
that would be
Man,
Dale comes
that's-
to mind.
that's a
And
hot
Oscar
fashion.
Madison, he did that.
Yep. And then velvet
She wore black
And-
velvet.
jumpsuits.
Ah, yeah.
Jumpsuits
One-piece
were kind
hot
of a big
suits.
thing.
That was big for disco.
That was
Mainly.
big in disco, yeah.
So. All
You
right.
know, the one thing that we really didn't mention that had its real big debut and birth in the 70s.
How do you know we haven't got to it yet?
Yeah.
We're only on 74.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, if you don't, I'm going to mention it because it is funny. It's kind of where it was born. So carry on.
My Wayward Son, Kansas. That was a great song from
They're
the
on the
70s.
list.
Aha!
All right, 74.
Don't we have to play a song? Gotta play a song?
Yes.
Yes.
Why don't you listen to me?
I don't know.
What we got up, big man, big man?
It's wintertime here at Smith Jewelers on 2nd Avenue in downtown Franklin, Virginia, and that means the showroom is stuffed with beautiful treasures, gifts, and special event choices for all budgets. Whether you are looking for a Sweet 16 gift, a personalized keepsake, or are considering a big purchase such as engagement or anniversary, we can help. With years of experience in helping our neighbors and community with their jewelry needs, we would love to welcome you to our family. Check us out on Facebook under Smith Jewelers in downtown Franklin, Virginia.
Surprise!
All right, we're back.
Yeah.
Woo! All right, 74.
All right, so top headlines in 1974. I was 11 years old. They were not born yet. Patricia
was.
He
I was born in
was
73.
a big old 1
Happy
year
birthday.
old.
Patricia Hearst kidnapped by Symbionese Libertarian Army. I do remember that.
Yeah.
It that affected a lot of people. Even my mom was upset about that.
Really?
Mhm.
Huh.
Nixon impeached. Who cares? Happens all the time.
Yeah.
But he was the first president
To do so, yes, he started a trend, which continues today.
Thanks, man.
I saw Gerald Ford on the beach in Atlantic City.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, he takes over and pardons Nixon, who must have farted as he walked past him.
Pardon you.
People magazine debuts with Mia Farrow on the cover. That whole Woody Allen Mia Farrow thing, please.
I don't care for him.
Number
I don't care
one,
that he's a genius.
a genius. I didn't like one of his single movies.
Well, I didn't say I considered him a genius. I think his movies are dry, and his sense of humor is lost on me.
Yeah, well,
it's too heady, cerebral.
I don't even.
I want to correct one thing. You said the first president to be impeached.
That's
He wasn't.
what I.
No, Andrew Johnson
Mm-hmm.
was the first president to be
You didn't
impeached.
tell me I was sent back.
They caught him with a sheep in the Oval Office. It was an ugly affair.
I didn't know we get fact checked.
We're Facebook. Anyway, movies: Chinatown, Godfather 2, Blazing Saddles.
Oh, Blazing Saddles was awesome.
I'm gonna shoot you in the right
And I'll tell
pinky
you what
toe.
else was in 74 that is in that same genre of comedy. Young Frankenstein.
Oh, never saw that.
You got to watch Young Frankenstein.
That's
It's
what I've been
hilarious.
told.
Mel Brooks, comedy genius.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yes, Woody,
His
not.
BFF is Carl Reiner. They have dinner together.
I hate
like
that
every
guy.
Monday.
Oh,
You like
hopefully he's
Carl
poisoned.
Reiner?
No, he's actually a meathead. He acts like
I
meathead.
thought that was Rob Reiner.
That
Oh,
is
okay, then
Rob
maybe
Reiner.
not.
It's not Carl Reiner. It's Rob Reiner.
Carl
Rob
Reiner's his
Reiner.
daddy.
Rob Reiner is meathead, and he's a jackass.
Yeah, I don't know Carl Reiner.
That's his
In fact,
dad.
Rob Reiner can't get through that door these days. He's scarfing down cheeseburgers.
In Paradise.
Cheeseburgers sound good. All right, what else we got?
Def, Stu Ellington, he took his final A train. Charles Lindbergh and Ed Sullivan.
Oh.
It's a wonderful show tonight. The Beatles. Yeah, let's welcome
Charles
Peter
Lindbergh.
Simon.
I mean, hey, look, let's not Lucky Lindy, man.
I like the cheese sometimes.
Lindbergh.
Charles Lindbergh was like the first transatlantic flight.
Thank you for your service.
Yes.
All right, go into the year of my birth.
1975.
Woo!
Pulpit.
Pol
Pot.
Pot.
I like it already. Strippers. Oh, a marijuana bar with stripper
He
poles.
was a disgusting human.
Pol
Yeah.
Pot?
Yes, Cambodian dictator.
Yep, Khmer Rouge. They take over Cambodia. Did you not ever see the Killing Fields?
Yes. Maybe.
That's
Maybe not. I don't know.
He's on that list. Pol Pot belongs on that list with people like Mao Zedong, Joseph Stalin.
He's probably sitting on
Che
the left
Guevara.
hand
Oh,
of
who
Satan.
cares about those people? Saturday Night Live
They
premieres
all
with George Carlin.
He was
And George
the
Carlin
first.
was he's a legend, man.
He was my inspiration for comedy. I loved him from. I had his albums in the 70s.
I
And
believe
you realize
Going to
politically,
Loxley
he told everybody that they were stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he pretty much said,
Right.
we're all
It
screwed.
was.
He knew what he was talking about. I mean, the guy came straight with it.
Yeah, I'm going to come
That's what we
straight
like.
with it. I'm not going around the corner. I'm coming straight with it.
You're so tough.
VCR developed. Oh, thank you for your service. I was born. A coal miner's daughter.
A coal miner's daughter.
Were you?
Yes.
You're a coal miner's daughter?
I'm a coal miner's daughter.
That's crazy.
I am
West
a
Virginia.
stereotype.
God, I like it. Anyway, movies. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
That was that required reading for you in high school?
No.
I
was
read it
for us, I
anyway.
believe.
I liked it.
That was one of the few movies that I thought was totally followed the book.
I never saw the movie. I liked
My
the book.
required reading consisted of books like All Quiet on the West.
Oh, look.
Gotcha.
The movie that traumatized me.
Doo
Jaws.
doo doo.
Jaws is just, to me, is just crazy because to start with, yeah, it's gruesome, but at the same time, you kind of know that that's like, it's a great big mechanical shark.
No, not when you're little.
But when you're little, yeah, it'll screw you up. Just like,
I was scared to get in the bathroom.
I mean, just like a chick floating off the
I
bed.
know, man. I lived right there on the ocean.
Just
Okay,
like
it
a
was
chick
scary.
floating off the bed and her head spinning around and green shit flying out of her mouth.
Yeah, didn't really.
That
happen.
can really happen.
Now, I don't think your head
But
can turn all
Jaws,
the way
no.
around and you survive.
If the devil wants you to do that.
It would break the tendons in your neck.
Look, the
I mean,
devil
her
went
head
down to
is
Georgia.
shot
I
all the
lived
way
in
around.
Jersey.
It's a.
Well, that's true. But all that other stuff.
All right, so the biggest death of the year was Aristotle on asses. I have no idea what that says.
Aristotle Onassis.
Oh, like Jackie Onassis? Is that her? Her name is Aristotle?
No, her last name. She got remarried.
And her name's Aristotle?
Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis.
So who's
my
Aristotle?
gosh.
Is that Jackie?
No.
You're screwing up my year. Okay, so, here, Tony.
What do we got?
Oh, now you're
How about
talking.
some, I'll let you have the toys that defined the 70s.
Ooh.
They may not have completely been invented, but I think
Toys.
most of them were. But
Okay,
go
well,
on.
to start with, Nerf ball, okay?
Love it, still love it.
Still
All
here.
right, then, okay, I had these when I was little. Weebles, the Weeble that would wobble.
Yeah, they don't fall down
down.
now.
Yeah, and you had the barn set and everything that went with it.
Yep.
The tree house, the whole thing.
And
It was
then
kinda
the
cool.
big punching bags. Did you ever have those?
I never had the big punching bag.
Oh, those were the best.
Oh, I had, they were the best, man.
Punching
You
bag,
got,
come back up.
my mom bought
All right,
me
well,
one to
They
help
talk
me
about the
with my
skateboard
anger.
because it became popular, but that wasn't very new in the 70s. It was like, that had been out for a while because,
Skateboard?
yeah,
Yeah,
and
but it was big.
it was big in the 70s, but I tell you where they came from because, like, back when my dad was young,
Ancient China.
he had those skates that had the metal wheels.
Yeah.
So they took the skates apart and they drew a board and they bolted the skates to the board and you had a skateboard.
So your dad invented the skateboard?
No, it's just
Oh.
that it was kind of what they did.
I had a longboard, I
All right.
skateboarded.
Evil Knievel stunt car because everybody loved Evil Knievel.
I remember
He was
when
like
his
the most-
show was on. People waited
Do
for
you?
it all
Yeah.
year. It would come on Saturday night like at 8 o'clock. And
Oh,
it
it was
would be
big
jump.
deal.
Oh, it was a big deal.
Oh, wow.
All right, here's something that I had, Etch-A-Sketch. You know, you sit there and just,
They were
I messed
great.
up.
They still have them, and I like them.
They just don't move while you're doing
Yeah.
it. Don't move.
All right, here we go. Pet Rock. That was the dumbest thing.
I don't even want to talk
Hey,
about
but you
it.
know what?
Somebody
People
got rich.
bought 'em. That's
People
right.
bought 'em.
It's
Cha-ching.
not his fault he marketed on their stupidity.
I have a pet booger.
All right, then
$5.
we talked about Pong before.
Yep.
All right, then Stretch Armstrong.
Oh, I
Everybody-
had one.
They always try to pull that damn thing apart. Now,
And
I
you know
never-
what they had in the 70s that they should bring back? It was the most amazing action figure. But, you know, like now they're all hardened plastic. You know, Iron Man, all of them
Yeah.
that they
Yeah.
have. But back then, they moved more, and they had ones that made muscle.
Really?
The G.I. Joe had a muscle
Yeah.
band, and it would pop it, and oh my God,
And he had a Kung Fu
the
grip.
costumes
And
took
then the
off the
wrists
costumes
would-
and put them back on.
Yeah.
The wrists
But
and
G.I. Joe
joints
had a
would
Kung Fu
move.
grip.
Yeah,
Remember
just
that?
finished
He had a
it,
Kung Fu grip.
Oh yeah, Kung Fu grip.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right, let's see some other things here. All right, I don't remember Microdonts. I don't.
I don't either.
All right, Mattel electronic football. Yeah, that thing.
I had it.
That thing would buzz, and you could send it
I
wherever.
had it. Yeah.
But y'all still
You could make it
knew.
circle.
I know it was
You
weird.
Yeah.
knew what it was doing, even though
All
it
right.
was just a series of dots.
Simons. I would do it.
Yep.
There's one in the other room. The kids just got it for Christmas.
Love-hate relationship with that game.
All right, the speaking spell.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
I remember the
That
commercials.
was- Then you got a response like that.
No, it's not ringing a
Do you
bell.
remember that toy from
That's how
Fisher Price that
E.T.
they made,
communicated.
where you take and you turn the little dial in the middle of the arrow to an animal, you
The
pull the
speaking
string, and
say.
it said, the cow says, "Arr."
Yes.
It was like a big clock. It
That
was
was
one of
big.
those
I had
Fisher
those.
Price
It was
gift
the
stores.
string.
And then they did all sorts.
And they had like 40 of the things on there, like 40. I mean, there's a lot of choices.
Not the original one.
All right,
It's
so
like
here we go.
8.
I
Star
remember
Wars
that.
action figures. Okay, of course that got big because Star Wars was like the hugest, movie craze of the 70s.
Hugest.
Light Bright had the little colored
Mhm.
pegs you put in all the holes.
I just bought one of those for my nephews last year for Christmas.
Light
Now,
bright.
you're talking about Atari 2600. That one in the 70s, that was a little bit later because we were still getting Atari like,
Fact checker. Just mark it off
Yeah.
and don't point out my mistakes.
all right, we talked about Rubik's Cube.
Yep.
Okay, who solved it?
You did, Tony.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about, but I'm asking.
Oh. You're soliciting.
How the heck would I know? Was it the kid on
Your
Christmas
mom.
Story? Your mom.
Your mom.
No, yours.
All right, $6 million man figure.
Still got
I had that
those.
one, and I lost my. If I had all these things, they're worth money.
Oh, they're worth a lot of money.
If you didn't play with them.
All right, okay, here we go. Boggle.
Boggle.
Mm-hmm.
That's a game.
It's a game, Boggle.
Mm-hmm. I'll take your word for it.
Connect 4.
Boggle. Connect 4. I love
Sure.
Oh
that.
my God, I had this one too. Hungry Hippo.
Hungry Hippos.
You
It's
roll
still
balls
out.
out there and you
The
kept
kids
missing
got it.
Hippo
It's in
kept
the
trying
Oh,
to get
yeah?
it.
Mhm.
That's so much fun.
We should play 70s board
Dude,
games.
All
that
right.
could be a drinking game.
Rock'em Sock'em.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
That was fun. All right. Baby Alive. That was kind of creepy. Sorry.
Yeah. Any
All right.
baby that was not just a doll was
Yeah.
great.
All right. Then you had Battleship. You sank my Battleship.
I still love Battleship. I was undefeated.
Thank you for your service.
Okay, so you had Starsky and Hutch cars.
Mm-hmm. That's what you should. I had the real one.
All right. Then you had the Easy Bake Oven where you really thought you were
I
baking
had
something
one.
with a
Yeah.
light.
Me and Daddy
Little
used to, bake.
Bake.
I don't
stuff.
ever remember Shrinky Dinks.
You don't remember Shrinky Dinks?
No.
You get them like they're this big and you color them with colored pencils and then you put them in the oven and they shrink down. So you essentially were melting and cooking plastic.
I remember I had
Because
steam
the
monkeys.
fumes would come out of the oven because you were burning plastic. You were shrinking
Well,
it down from like this size
I don't remember it.
to a little bit. You don't.
I know, but it's ringing a bell.
But
You know
that's
what
not
I'm
the first time that they gave kids dangerous toys because do you realize there was like in the 50s, there was a kit that you could buy, you could mail order it. It was the science set and it actually came with a piece of radioactive material.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh.
I
Well,
like
those toys
it.
in the 50s were made from metal.
Well, yeah, I
And
mean,
had-
you learned
Oh,
what
they
they
were
called
like
back
the
then.
Tonka
And do-
trucks? Oh my God, they were
And do
great.
you realize, like back in the 50s, that shoe salesmen had this tool where you could take and go and put your feet in it,
Mhm.
and he could look in, and your mom could look in, or you could look in, and you were being exposed to X-rays. They were going to X-ray your feet to make sure your shoes fit right. The whole time, didn't realize they were giving people cancer.
Radiation.
Yeah, they thought that
Wow.
you could actually mix radium in chocolate milk, and it was going to be good for you. It was going to give you superpowers. It was just giving you cancer.
Congratulations.
Spirograph. Never had that one, never heard
I
of it.
had it. It's so
Yeah,
wonderful.
it's the
Mhm.
spirograph
Mhm.
where it.
Oh, okay,
all
all right.
the
I thought it was called
circles,
something
the
else.
doodly.
All right, ants in the pants. Yep.
I
done that.
still get ants in the pants.
Sonny and Cher doll. Okay, did that come with the tree and a set of skis, and then it come with the plastic surgery?
I got you, babe.
The plastic surgery.
And then it
Sonny.
said, "Do you believe in life after love?"
Not if it's with her, no. I don't
And then,
know.
okay, here we go. Slime.
That's still huge.
But I tell you what, we had it was even better than slime. Silly putty.
Well, that's
you
still
could,
around.
You could put tattoos on because all you had to do was take and get it off of the newspaper, and
yep,
you could put it on.
Yep.
It was so
That's
cool.
where it started for you.
Yeah,
All right.
and then of course don't forget Play-Doh.
Let's
How
play.
many kids ate that crap?
Play-Doh. It smelled good. It
I think
smelled
Play-Doh
so-
had that weird smell that
No.
nothing else smelled like it.
No, like crayons.
Right.
Did you eat crayon?
No.
But I
Did you eat
smelled them. I love opening a new box of crayons and smelling them.
She probably had the one with sharpen on the back. She goes,
Oh, at Christmas time alone, we couldn't afford the 64 box crayons with a sharpener in the back.
Yeah, you spoiled rich kids might have got that.
I
Yeah.
didn't ever get that. I had other stuff.
I used to just
Yeah,
get the
those-
wrapping from a crayon. All right, so let's play a
this
song, and
is-
we're
that
gonna
was just
have
like a buzzkill pitiful right there.
to
Oh,
speed the
I
rest
didn't
of the
have a house.
decade.
I didn't ever get to eat cereal.
806.
Kurt Grimsley here from Tag and Mix Suspension and Liquid Skins Designs. If you're looking for some good quality dirt bike graphics for your dirt bike, go online to liquidskinsdesign.com. Liquid Skins Design Co. is the graphics department for Tag and Mix Sports. We ourselves specialize in custom bike graphics and decals. If you don't see a template online that fits your needs, there's no worries. We will design it for you, especially just for you. Any size and any color, and we ship it to anywhere around the world. We offer the hottest custom graphics for your dirt bike. Customize your dirt bike graphics online at liquidskinsdesign.com or check us out on Facebook or Instagram at liquidskinsdesignco.com.
All right, so yeah, we're back. Jayme Denham, she grew up around trucks, and that's why.
And now you know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good information.
Stacks.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's a good song, too.
All right, so you're going so slow.
I speed read. No, you're
Let's
not
talk
reading
about.
this.
All right, let's continue to talk about the 70s.
This is
76.
76 was the age that I started to become more aware of things. You know,
And then it died off about 82.
Yeah, he became aware because it was probably he started sprouting hair in places.
He got his boobies.
Well, no, I got my freedom. My mom,
I didn't have a house.
I was able to get out of
Never had
where I lived.
Play-Doh. Oh, yeah.
And he only had a crayon wrapper.
Fine, they don't understand. I like M&M. I don't like M&Ms. All right, so 1976, I would have been in 8th grade.
Oh, that's a crucial year.
The bicentennial.
Did you have pimples?
I wasn't a pimply guy. But thanks for asking. Though I do like popping a good pimple.
Oh.
If you let it fester for a while, it's got that really unique smell to
She
it.
doesn't watch Dr. Pepper.
And it's oily. If you ever squeeze them, they're just like...
You gotta watch Dr. Pimple Popper to get them really big.
No, I can't do that. That's
like that.
gross.
It's
But
like
you can
cottage
sit there and
cheese.
Talk about it.
Yeah, it's different than,
Watching it.
live action, sure.
Oh, boys.
It's funny to watch their reaction.
No, it's
all I gotta do
not.
is go.
Oh, ew, Tony. Bleh.
She'll be all over
Mine
the
was
going, they went
jelly
all over me.
donuts.
So we know how to send Jayme crazy. So if you ever see Jayme in public, just walk up to her and go.
No, don't do that. That's not cool. But walk up to me. That's cool. Just don't do that.
Yeah, do other things like flatulate.
Yeah.
All right, so the U.S. Supreme Court rules death penalty is constitutional.
And it still is, and it should be.
Jimmy Carter was elected. I saw him on the beach in Atlantic City.
Everybody's at Atlantic City.
Yeah, and his brother made beer.
Yes, Billy Beer.
Billy Beer.
Well, when they campaigned, Atlantic City was a stop. So they always did it on the beach in Atlantic City. All right, see, this is now Rocky.
Your hat.
Right. This is inspired from Rocky's first look in the movie Rocky back in '76.
Well, do your Rocky impersonation.
Oh, yo, Adrian. Look, I did. Ew. All right, so anyway, Rocky actually inspired me to go into boxing. So I started boxing because of Rocky.
Is he serious?
I'd love to see him get boxed by
I wait for
Rocky.
the punchline.
No, there's no punchline.
Oh,
I used to box and do martial arts. All right, Taxi Driver.
that was a disturbing.
Yes, and then the taxi, you know what? What's weird is his character, as scary and demented as he was, he's actually worse in real life. Robert De Niro's a dillweed. No,
Dillweed.
he's a raging tool. Oh, The President's Men. Who was that, Redford?
I think so.
Mm-hmm. That was, and then Agatha Christie died.
Yeah.
My mom, not my mom, my
The
aunt,
Queen with the Mystery.
used to read Agatha Christie.
And it wasn't so long ago that we lost Anne Rice.
Yeah, I remember reading. She was big in the high school days.
1977. I remember when Roots, the miniseries, came on TV. It was, everyone talked about it coming.
It was a big
It was a big deal.
It was a big miniseries.
It was an excellent miniseries. I mean, I don't know anybody that didn't gain an understanding.
Well, I think a
From
lot
it.
of people got educated.
Mhm.
Didn't know.
Right. They need to do one called Boots, the Indentured Servant series, and explain what the Irish were going through at the same time up north.
Listen.
Well, there was more than Irish people that suffered too on indentured servitude.
Oh, it was normal.
And, you know, not only did African Americans suffer under slavery, it was other races. I'm talking about mixed races. They suffered under it as well. Other races, Asians were part of slavery, Latin Americans, and anybody who had other than, like, of course, a lot of times it didn't matter about the color of their skin because there were black slavers.
Well, yeah, there was black slavers. I explained to somebody once that didn't really think about this from a logistic or a business
Anthony Johnson was the first black slave in America.
if your commodity was slaves, you would send black ones to white countries, and you would send white ones to black
I'm
countries.
talking about America. There were black slavers in America that owned black slaves.
Yes, the first one in America was a black man.
Yeah, I mean Anthony Johnson, and they also, black slavers were notorious for what they call Mandingo fighting.
Oh, I saw the movie. It was the first time a black pianist was shown at the movie theater. It was groundbreaking. No, Mandingo.
Oh.
It was a story about a slave and a plantation girl who fell in love.
Right.
It was very controversial back in the day.
Now, if you want to see something that kind of puts it into perspective, there's a movie it's a recent movie. It's called Django Unchained with Jamie Foxx.
It's horrible. It's sort of like when they remade
There was just so many F-bombs.
It's just
N-words,
rotated violence.
Well, the thing is, though, it actually put a sense of realism to it.
So 77 was Star Wars.
That was really big.
Saturday Night Fever and Close Encounters. All three of those movies made an impact in the social world in the 70s.
Different ways.
Yes.
Saturday Night Fever, I was forced to sit through last year, and
Who made you do that?
Dale.
I didn't realize he's so
He
cruel
just said
to you.
you need to watch it because you've never seen it. I'm like, okay. Boy, them men back in the 70s, they were New York or Jersey?
Oh, they were in New York, but your Northern Jersey guys walked. Actually, I think he lived in Jersey and went across.
Horrible.
But they were.
Most guys are still sleazy.
But
not like that.
Did you see the sequel to Saturday Night Live?
No.
Staying Alive? No.
But I bet you he can quote it.
No,
but Staying Alive isn't the same genre. He grows up, matures,
No, he
and
doesn't.
becomes a dancer.
And the Scientologist.
I'm not talking about Tom Cruise, darn it.
John Travolta is a Scientologist.
Big time Scientologist.
Look, John Travolta, I understand, but back then he was just John Travolta.
How do you know?
I don't.
They
Maybe
were grooming him.
Jane Travolta.
And that's got to be the dumbest religion there ever was.
It is.
Oh.
Unless you're L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah, he's an idiot too.
No, he's a rich idiot. Makes him a genius.
He's a dead
He's a dead
idiot.
idiot.
And he should have invented the pet rock.
Yeah.
I can't believe Elvis was only 42 when he died in 77.
We've outlived Elvis.
Yep. Elvis died
Charlie
on the bullet.
Chaplin,
Yeah.
Bing Crosby,
That was a
Groucho
big
Marx.
year to lose a lot of big Charlie
A
Chaplin.
lot of classics.
Charlie Chaplin was so
Genius.
much fun to watch when he was just in silent comedy.
Yes.
And when he did some of those later movies where he put some drama into it, not so much. Good he was a good actor, but I like the silent movies back in the old days.
I get that.
Like peep shows before there was
Oh
sound.
my gosh.
All right, so you guys want to go to 1978 with me?
Yeah, let's talk about
Let's do
78.
it, man.
You know what's
Far
kind of
out.
sad is they don't have the music. The 70s were controlled and dictated by music. The 80s were controlled and dictated by movies.
And cocaine.
Well, it's needless to say, cocaine
70s
is
was
always
too.
around. Yeah.
Because you
70s
forget, what was
too.
one big thing in the 70s? Two things we haven't covered yet. One, Studio 54.
Yeah, why's that not on there?
Studio
It didn't
54
come
was
across
a
my
big
desk.
deal in the 70s. And then what else became a
Excessive.
big deal in the 70s and kind of grew out of it? Pornography. Think about it. Pornography got its real start in the 70s.
It
Well-
never went away. No,
And
didn't
it
have
grew
one, they
out of
just
that
got better
because
at hiding.
pornography, they used to try to make it into feature films. Of course, you had to show it in certain theaters, but it used to be shown in theaters.
Listen,
And then it turned into videotape
in Atlantic City,
later in the 80s.
there was a porn theater. I don't remember the name of it. Okay, I've been in it. Okay,
Bad.
he was a teenage boy. We all, whatever. But the theater went back in the early 70s. Marquee, lights, popcorn,
Right,
candy,
right.
clean porn movies. Towards the end of the 70s, when I was a teenager, seedy, no food, nothing, it was starting to shift. And then, I don't know if you've ever seen this, but when porn started hitting VHS, porn was like at a flea market. You could see thousands of tapes of porn on
because
tables.
This is what happened when they put it on film. All right, I understand that you pretty much disgusted by the concept of it, but I do want to say this from the standpoint.
Yeah, but it was a cultural thing.
It was a cultural thing from the standpoint of filmmaking. So when porn was done in the 70s, it was put on film. These guys, even though it was doing lewd and nude acts, the producers of it really wanted to produce a quality film as far as the way that the cinematography was done, the way it was shot. The actors could actually act. They were more than just sexual performers. They could actually act. They didn't look corny or cheesy when they were delivering lines or delivering other scenes, that was outside of doing sexual acts.
Like there was a porn actress called Shauna Grant. Pretty young thing. Sad, tragic. The industry took her. She killed herself. But she could act, and she was in a movie called Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. And she did a great job.
And I tell you a series that came from that era, it was called Taboo American Style. It was parts 1 through 4. Okay, the thing was, the actors in it, you're talking about Paul, God, I can't remember his last name.
Don't say no.
We're going in too deep into this and we're running out of time, but
the thing is, these actors could actually, the way they delivered lines and the way they acted, it looked like that other than sexual acts, it looks like any movie you would have seen in the theater at the time, the way it was shot.
they did. They had bad ones and good ones, and they were all attempted unless you're Ron Jeremy. That man could not act.
And then, of course, like I said, later on when it hit videotape, it was just hours and hours and hours of grotesque sex with grotesque titles.
Yeah.
And it just carries on from that. And now, of course, the internet thing, I don't even see how these people can actually sell any kind of works they do because
you want that goat
button?
Bah, bah.
I just know what it does to a relationship.
It ruins relationships. It's horrible relationships because people get addicted to it. It's worse than drugs.
And it's not talked about more than it should be.
All right.
People are addicted to it.
We got to finish the decade, people.
I know. Come on.
All right, 1978, Jonestown Massacre in Guyana. Sony introduces Walkman. Had
That
one.
was tough.
First test tube, Baby Born in London. I remember it on TV. Movies, Deer Hunter, Midnight Express. Saw Midnight Express and Deer Hunter. I saw Midnight Express in the movie theater when it was out.
Both
Mad Max.
heavy movies.
Yes.
Mad Max, 1978, Mad Max.
Well, there is so much. I could almost make a 70s list. It would be different. It's perception.
Sure.
All right, Norman Rockwell died. No big loss. All right, 1979. Something about pot again. I told him.
Pol Pot.
Takes over Iran. No big deal. This is America. My brother was born. What? Whose?
My
Barbara
brother.
Streisand's? Oh. Here, Sugar Hill Gang releases Rapper's Delight.
Classic piece
Sugar Hill,
of
Sugar
music.
Hill.
That was awesome.
Now here
That was
is...
back when rap was fun.
Yes.
You and I talk about the 80s being a springboard for what America could be, and not this. In 79, I got on a bus in Atlantic City High School to a ski trip. We went on a ski trip. It was black, white, Hispanic, it didn't matter. We were shuffled deck, and it was the other side of the 70s, about to be born into the 80s.
Yep.
I had my little boom box with Kiss Alive on it playing, and then in the back of the bus was some black guys that had the Sugar Hill Gang. They started playing that, and by the time we got to our ski resort, we were all, ooh, Sugar Hill.
Oh, had abandoned your own music.
But that was the mentality that
Everybody
came out of the
loved-
70s to the 80s. Nobody pushed it on each other. Everyone had their own flavor and flair and culture.
Right, and respected.
Right, and we all had fun together with
We
it.
embraced each other's culture.
Mhm.
And coming out of the 70s going into the 80s, 1979, what was the one song that was written that was the first video shown on MTV?
Video killed the radio star.
Exactly. It was written in 1979, and it was the first video aired when MTV went on the air.
Yep.
And I believe that was 1980.
And that says a lot about closing out that decade.
John Wayne died to close out the decade. And they can't believe that they picked these two movies for 79.
Why?
Well, I mean, Apocalypse Now was amazing. Made movie Kramer versus Kramer, really?
That was
First of
the
all,
first movie that addressed divorce.
like I cared.
It was tough. Did
was
you watch
before-
that movie?
Yes.
And divorce
didn't
wasn't
tear
so much heard of like it is.
I
That's
saw it in
that's
the
why it was
theater
so
on a
good.
date.
Why would you do that?
That's what you wanted to see.
Oh,
I wanted
well,
to get in her
that was nice.
pants. I'll go see whatever
Then
she
she'll be
wants to do.
sad and cry on your shoulder, and that gives you a head start.
That's right, and I had the popcorn with a little, and
Holy shnikes.
no, I'm kidding. She actually ended up being my wife, my first one.
So the
Kramer
hole in the bottom of
versus
the popcorn
Kramer,
tub
something
down there.
positive came out of it.
Yes.
At least for a little while.
Yes.
Right on.
And don't cry for me, Argentina. Some of the things, I've had a weirder childhood than some others.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. Everyone's got good, bad, and parts of their
ugly,
life. It's all
just
good.
like the movie.
Yeah.
That's right.
And you wouldn't have this here today if I wasn't the man that I became when I wasn't one. What? Wait a minute.
What?
I don't know. All right. We're out of time. Anyone got something we got to talk about?
No.
We're not going to be on next week. I told you that already. Yeah. That's true.
Sleep in.
Give us a darn rumble, will you? We got all these views. Nobody rumbles us.
Exactly.
You could help us figure out what to talk about.
Let's talk about love. No,
I was
don't like
thinking
it.
Salt and Pepper.
Oh, I never liked that band. Not really my genre of music.
Well, but in the 90s in high school, it was...
You were in high school in the 90s?
Yes. My 30-year reunion is coming
How old
up.
are you?
I'll be 47 in March.
Oh, she's still a baby.
Still a baby.
47 in March. I'll be 49 in September.
And you will be
74.
older than
Older.
us.
I'm older than them. I'm not in my 60s yet. I'm still in my 50s. All right. We only can play one more, so let me see who I want to play.
Who would it be? Who would it be?
Let's do it. We haven't played this song in a long time, and I was hoping that you actually listened to it, and you should. It's,
I was getting there.
I know. It's a song called Taurus. We play it in rotation. It's the only song we got by this band called Roxy Roca. They've gone on since giving us permission to play this song to actually some success. But we still have that song along with permission to play, and it is a kick-ass song.
It is
Well,
a kick-ass.
I got 2 weeks to listen to it, right?
That's right.
Well, we may not talk about it. We'll come back.
But I'll still listen to you.
I have a
know
high
of you,
ATUS.
right?
Well, she can love me as she can.
What?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you said, so I was just responding in kind. But anyway, we're out. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes.
Give us a rumble.
Please.